It seems a meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. On sing your highlight with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to eat. We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day alright. It seems a meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. On sing your highlight with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, sing your highlight on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Saturday Ghana about 12:35 in Ghana. And this is a weekend show. Yeah, baba yeah. Ewoha. Makase, so when you're part of this community, just hit now subscribe to be part of this channel and let's grow together. And Saturday. There has been a number of development various platforms, and I think say the music can say when you're part of this particular way, journey and say catchy and issues be real ha ya ba can a ho asem e wo ha a live show you know we see just copy the link obi na can asem share the link, copy the link and send it to a friend and then let's have a live conversation and the number of issues and the course of Ghana and I think it will be appropriate say ye be share ha na ya kan ho asem and issues like the special prosecutor Ken Ofori Attah national security raid and why special prosecutor say or Ken Ofori Attah. A number of scandals have been raised or has been highlighted in the public domain and they become the SML contract no aka ho bi sika yɛde ɛkɔhyɛ cathedral mu no aka ho bi and some contractual saying abrogation so unilaterally some people sat somewhere and felt say or 2 minutes they could just cancel some of these things. Sa nneɛma we nyina aba Ghana for will have to saying bear the cost, and I think say yes, just have to do few things be okay. So like I'm saying, say some of these Nema Akoswa, we just need to look at all of them and see. Say Wunya and subscribe and be part of this particular way. Now very soon the discussion will roll. My catches a number of issues I ever come one. One has to do with your friend is saying Sadia we are who know screens we your friend is saying let me highlight these things. Some of the issues I ever come and NSS Scandal na Baba Sinkono. National service. One of the issues that President Mahama Ediama the AG said on a home investigation. Now there twice as a we'll be going into details how ghost names amount of money amounted to over 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. National service in nipa kubi a sheda. As a salmon for Didin Shankratem, a tiomoka for almost 7 good years in Nieno. We'll be going into some of these things. Parliament, why the oversight responsibility of Parliament, and so I was obu na nigu so must such crimes no a course because documents na nkrofo with the book no they were bold enough to submit this document to Parliament because omunim say Parliament near rubber stamp institution they ne insebunu na mamfo kodinti no. Nobody will look at some of these things, and indeed nobody even looked. And I'm so Emma on minor alusu over 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. So it's on the radar of investigative bodies. And the president say you go into this particular scandal. And so said enough Misikano. One issue to me so to begin with, we will be looking at some of these issues quickly. And said Misikano programmer shada anya ho announcement bi antinama notification. I don't know how well it's going, but sometimes you start and people will be joining and people want to find out how that is why I'm just trying to take my time to wait a little subscribe and be part of this community, and let's grow together. First issue has to do with this particular deal. Ken Ofori Attah special prosecutor say ofreno yes we dwane yes we siki your friend is saying wakwaji leave or bottom line and they say ni nyina ye because one of the key issues dey we that was screen so yi eno ho asem na ye ba beka. But before that na ye twen say other people will join us. Let's take a few minutes and then go through this.
We've been living in sin so long, all the fields are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day alright. It seems a meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go on, sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, sing your highlight on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster.
Yes, so I think we can now roll. Those of you who are yet to join us, I think you can now join us and let's have a conversation. And see, I'll be walking you through development a course. So I'm ACC in the first place. Now you're on a special prosecutor by a press conference. And then some are coming and say Ken Ofori Attah, a former finance minister, involved in corruption related deals via Akoso Ewokroma say. Yakai the infamous your friend is saying SML deal. I think I'm having some technical challenges here. So Nina has to do with the infamous SML contract between 2017, 2019 and some scandals kwanya so award that particular contract no ehonsem bebre manase azuru ekoye investigation the babonti ma behu say the company in question say wo he sa report ya eda wo screen yisu ya nsem no baaye na investigation no baaye na Ghana for epe responses no ene na ma president Akufo-Addo contract KPMG auditing firm say onye investigation as to nema esiye in this particular deal, and we'll go through various documents now. You will appreciate say kwanya this SML company we nya this particular contract na nkasa no yade a sebi na we be see emu awirem emu na ho na very very scandalous because so we hear the background of the story now. It started in 2018, and in 2018, this company can't want to not needing end your friend is saying SML, the company in question, not needing end SML, but moment your friend SMEL. It was incorporated on February 14th. In 8 years, and that's 9 years, and a year. And I don't know whether it's coincidence. I hear story where and there. And a year 8 years, and 9 years, this particular SML company way was incorporated, and which means that Akufo-Addo buying to take it over no. Also in 1 month after, and I just set up this company, an SMEL company. Almost set it up na almost apply for PPA approval. Sebe obenya contract from GRA. because people within GRA no na your one kasa omo company a finance minister e ka ho bi and I know the day nipa na owo GRA na all pushy for say this deal never go through no or retire pe and or taking over this SML, and you understand why this thing is a big scandal that has to be your friend is investigated. I think let me put the picture well so that we will see the image will not may walk you through this particular thing so that you understand. But the first time I'm trying to use your friend is saying pictures and those things just to, so I'm having some difficulty. Anyway, let me just put it on the screen. So so this is the evolution of the SML contract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is what I'm explaining to you. So let's go. Enti said the Mexican. This particular company, you find the SML, you're setting up on the 14th day of your friends February 2017. And the Kufuado taking over now after the first month now, and you're setting up this particular company up. Then immediately now, GRA make it 3 solid attempts to get PPA approval. Say by ya PPA be mana company na approval na or no why this GSML company way, but PPA for tena say hwe nkrata ma remember say at that early stage you know na PPA nipa no mo ho no nye aban enyan set up wie yenti no you could see clearly said there were people and were very critical at the time and mo be hwe nkrata mu ye. So 3 times these people made an attempt say omo be secure PPA approval no they didn't get it. 3 solid occasions. Then the people are more SML no, and I'm so one or more GRA ho. Now more powerful people, and they wanted this particular deal to go in at all costs. You know, they decided say, okay, if that is the case, so won't my PPA approval now you to me my contract. Remember the entire PPA I'm approval and it's a company na fe na yate 14 day within that month in the man of only capacity, only proven track record, only share, and you know, or you're not just say no, we cannot give you the PP approval. Sabia GRA contracted. So they decided, okay, someone found my you better find for so. Then the mother company na at the time, na GRA na year Jumano, na your friend West Blue Ghana Limited, na company na GRA and no year Juma. So these people forced this company say on subcontracted adwuma na ye dia ma no ebi emfama your friend is saying SML because by that no call PPA approval no mwanya no o mbesisan din no be yi no frim say by subcontractor emma me big deal bia, so they eliminated the E and make it SML. That is how come the name changed from SMEL to SML. Good. So Yamfa we na manana yes san edino. Then the GRA subcontracted adwuma ye de ama WBG the West Blue Company Limited adwuma no bi and ye de ma GRA say ye de ma this new company say onye. Then ye de ama na we no contract 2 no ena omofa akwan bi so extended this particular transaction audit contract na GRA de ma SML under subcontractor no, and na or extended that particular contract no or de ma this company full year because my culture say company na ye kan wasem no didn't have the requisite qualification whatever, so PPA denied them approval. So they decided to use ways and means by subcontracting, because we are subcontractor, we don't go through the various processes now that other companies have to go through. So the second phase, you know, instead of going for PPA approval, they circumvented those processes, and what they did, they said, at the full contract, you know, the contract, you know, this SML na ye with that PPA approval, and now main company na yes subcontractor, you know, and I'm no so ma this particular way by a subcontractor, ye no free ho. So this company transitioned into the main company. Hey, rather. So this company in question, you know, became the main company. Then contractor, GRA and this SML entered into a contract for additional services to extend the scope of services under contract 1, no. on 1st January 2019 to include external verification services to GRA Customs Technical Services Bureau. So company na yadena as a subcontractor. PPA car say you sure more or they don't have good standing be a bit me agina so amo your friend is saying any deal biano. And this particular company no were transitioning from being a subcontractor to the main contractor here without PP approval. And under the main contractor, no was act by BM ama say officially. GRA no go into official agreement. That agreement no extended services no and the customs. In any way, some verifications be as the so it is no longer evaluation of the services or transaction BM. Number the scope has now expanded. Good. And see, let's go to the 3. And this over the next contract na a course na. Addendum to the downstream petroleum audit contract. So GRA and the same SML no and established an addendum to the downstream petroleum audit contract. Addendum amended the pricing basis from CIF to the volume of petroleum products lifted. And sa contract na madika ka ho asem under 2 contract 5 a course 2019 in that particular contract this company added other services to no and yasin attach extra duty and downstream petroleum services. Downstream petroleum services has to do is petroleum your friends saying refinery, distribution, your friends say pricing, everything. That huge contract has been added to this particular company. On the GRA and I'm so remember says we are course and go through any proper approval. Then back to 2023, consolidation of revenue assurance services contract. Enti sa contract na I evolve a company ne share as no company as a subcontractor and as a form no. And this company grew to a point and services ne other way enka scope no kwa na ya finance akwan so asesa dia shame. And don't forget Abraham Manase this particular ade we ebe blow no the time no not this services na SML we no there has been a saying understanding between the finance minister and the GRA say services no more adwuma pa until we cannot just limit their services to the petroleum sector na mom ye mineral sector ni nyina gold diamond whatever ni nyina no sa your friends say audit we BS wo hopia no yentam yemfa this particular company. My culture say GRA boss na at the time na owo ho no or resign or no be taking over this SML deal, and most of the decisions going through was through the finance minister. Is the reason why per investigation a special prosecutor conclude now what coming into a conclusion said no. Sa nema we a course scandal na a pop up. Sika and listen these people yetua more at the time na scandal na babonte na Ghana atua a whooping 1.4 billion Ghana cedis to this SML company for no work done because services near man I say this company already there were internal systems properly instituted within most of these institutions are already or more downstream petroleum services, the monitoring and evaluation, and those kind of services amount for there was internal mechanism there that were lifting or checking some of these things. But this company, and I'm saying a shady phony company, even websites or more trust services they were rendered. Abraham Manasseh at the issue no Bible. So quickly they went there and deleted some of the services almost free. And this is something at the early stage now. investigation new popping up, no, some of us were expecting say at the time obi betena ase anya kokoduro aye proper investigation. But the government of the day wouldn't allow, because Ken Ofori Attah at the time was all powerful, and the sort of impediment the government then placed here in the way of the special prosecutor, and they were doing everything to hinder, to thwart his effort. Say obetimia come back to critical issues. So they were just dancing around these critical issues, and nothing better came out of it. So this SML deal, raised a whole lot of controversy. And I'm so Ghana bought over 1.4 billion. 4 billion, according to GRA, or sort of say taxes are due to GRA from, and that was amounting to over 1.4. So over 400 million Ghana cedis there in taxes. You know, according to them, they extracted before paying to the company 1 billion Ghana cedis for no work done. And this company belonged to the same people who were working at the GRA, the finance minister. They were the very people who were behind this whole GRA SML company. Because my culture, when this company was instituted, the very moment the Akufo-Addo government came to being, quickly 14th, your friend is saying Valentine Day, Akufo-Addo taking over, and the first Valentine Day, and almost setting up this particular company. And now, over the year, you caused this huge scandal. And what does NSS special prosecutor say, or Ken Ofori Attah, and your political witch hunting, or GRA no working directly under the finance minister. And major decisions, of course, he was the person that was giving your friends all the authorization and everything for every single decision, because GRA cannot sign any major contract with anybody without the approval of the finance ministry. Because after all, payment and everything will have to go through the ministry. So what is Asia? Then you begin to appreciate the depth of Aniyama and Nkrofo. And again, aside that, one other issue American was involved in this special prosecutor, Ken Ofori Attah has to do with the cathedral. That foolish investment nipa desani transiye na dwen se obehye na sika sesa oman sika akwakoti cathedral abra amanfo ema ewa valanda so no moda emranti enya adwuma nye napco aban young people to work, he couldn't even pay them. Now ya tam oman sika over millions of dollars. And he invested such monies in a very foolish enterprise. Some of us at the early stage can say, no, you cannot be dumping your hand into state coffers, dipping $60 million, 60 million Ghana cedis, 50 million this, all in the name of us. Yeah, build the cathedral. Cathedral no yensi ho. Na consultant in the pa omo keka ho ne ye twetwe omo nyina ka asim say ya bodam. And these are the works of Ken Ofori Attah and Akufo-Addo. And I hope, sir, at the right time, the president himself should be called to answer why he took or led some of these foolish undertakings. And the man is now go into this cathedral na uhu yena ene ayama na adahwa adanchem ne entwere ne gu nsuom ewo cantonment at the middle of cantonment prime land. And don't forget, baby, you see cathedral na nkasa na ye place na judges na net ho. Judges dan ya you see in 2012. You could bu adan ni nyina tugu ye. You see including old passport office. Say you see cathedral, the cost involved enya ketwa. We ended up your friends have company be all in juma, it affected them. They took government to court and we were supposed to pay compensation to the company. Sanyama we nyina ade so in this cathedral. That is why I was so much angry when I saw for our more kroma who should know better, because every single Sunday when you go to church, when you meet your church members, you see poverty, you see desperation, you see hopelessness. But these people were foolishly backing government to seek cathedral. When you go to church, you see the desperation in the faces of your people, young people on the street. Because they don't see any future in this country. Asafo, they knew all these things, but they were foolishly out there advocating, say, government should build cathedral because now, to the extent, say, we even went to your friend say Israel, say, for border about Kroma. As I'm crying at the time. So you can't do these things and get away with it, and that is a fact. So I disagree with the special prosecutor with the kind of Niama way me Makacha said that office now is a useless creation for so be a so, and it comes to mind the comedy and the drama that surrounds how this kind of this how do you call it Kisie Jabeng, the way he goes about his thing, and there is nothing serious about acquire say your friends say some kind of media will crusade being all running. That guy is not serious. He's just an attention-seeking freak. Because are you serious to combat these things? And can you net any ever see a bit true information out there? Yeah, on press conference and that's for them. Because I never we shall see and yet net. And my culture say at the time, no way watching so by yeah, let's see a bit you quiet. The best you could have done was to resign and tell the whole world, say, I wanted to do my job. But these people are not allowing me. But you sit there, take fat salaries, buying bulletproof cars and stuff. At the end of the day, you'll be said there now why there is nothing to show for. Now you come back, hold press conferences, and be talking as if we are lying. No, my friend. You cannot play on the intelligence of Ghanaians. One case when you're serious that. And that is the problem. I had to take chroma, comedy no Dawson, jokes no Dawson, and the media will feed on some of these. Your friend is saying. Some of these issues run commentaries, and in the end, the substantive issue dies. So when Ken Ofori Attah as a proud finance minister, while leading this country, and you think you've lived a good life with our higher, why are you not answering? Because a special prosecutor wants you to come and answer. Why are you not answering? And there is this whole issue that I need to address. You see, politics in a year okromano. I can't just say I extended deep into the fabrics of our politicking in this country to the extent say sometimes you see this whole thing as a joke and you don't know whether we are serious, whether say and I say ubi say nyansa na yendimo sadienyo. This is Ken Ofori Attah finance minister who authorized and abra only home authority kwana de nsakobo man sikam eswa e de kwose cathedral say yensi cathedral instead of building hospitals. Mahama esi for hospitals Kumase. The hospital was left to rot in 8 good years. This joker called Ken Ofori Attah could not have the sense to say, let us build or improve on medical infrastructure in this country. Not even. But he was foolishly committed to building a cathedral. Today, Ono Timinya Kukodro Kachira and say, Okwa America. Makacho said, Mayo Clinic is one of the most expensive and the best hospitals in America. And Ono Disikanu Kotu Amenawi Yano. Wasore abone kete makotena Mayo Clinic ewa America siki better care. Ntena makacha sa we Ghana ni na sa wo the emotions na ya politics adwene ho na dwene ho biem. Because ebi America say passport okura wonni bi na ye de wakotogo sa okogya yaresa. But people are out there foolishly defending Ken Ofori Attah. Nipana, he was supposed to build medical facilities in this country, help improve, because as a finance minister, as a president, you should have spoken to his ears and no hospital now Mahama seen Wokumas and Anya She or Momotfa and the benefit. But these people left these hospitals to rot. Took monies, Yamfanya sensible investment, almost Mokosi Cathedral. Because at the time, in the twisted mind of the president, he thought to say you see cathedral, Nyankopon, or say civil war. How can you say this? Cote d'Ivoire, Yamoussoukro, there's this president for 4 or whenever. Okosi, one of the biggest cathedral of Cote d'Ivoire. I think, or Yamoussoukro. 2013, when this whole thing started, cathedral couldn't save them. cathedral nim video bia ho. And those who make those cheap and easy comparisons, oko America, oko France, those facilities, you know, oko Spain, those your friend is saying churches who were not built today. They were built in the olden days. And at the time I have told you, say, not a year. A software, the aristocrats na rule. They didn't have democracy in as a form. So why will rule no? They open our day. So those those big churches like Notre Dame and other places, you know, they were built from antiquity. Omono they only have that kind of your friend saying they are regarded as museum. People go there to look at, because these are things that were built in the olden days. And yeah, in America, tam nisika so kusi cathedral na UK tam nisika. No, ko we are no, baby we are no corner. That is why you channel your resources to the benefit of your own people. But we were foolishly using our monies throwing it into that particular pit called cathedral. My church is buying our pilot program. I'm sorry, I'm a Roman Catholic. We have a lot of big cathedral. The episode be a bit media. Pentecost for CCP. So there wasn't any reason for state by committee resources or Kwakusi cathedral. But we see no China Muslims basi and so ye pebia untuminka se win see. The following day, any other religious way, sorry. The last time I was telling you, about some for betimian sorry, so almost per national shrine. Untuminka win see, because the state didn't belonging to Christians and now Muslims. So this is the foolish arena we were ushering ourselves in. Now so for the nema we yechi. Okanyan sasam chiro obia ntie. Ede yakọ ba ye and the baby we there. And the person, the very people who led charge, these foolish undertakings, nema or minor bokano, or mumbrambe no. He is bold enough to tell us, or US, or Kosana Hoyare, and indefinitely no onim da or backroom say, and the special prosecutor should wait, or beginner no. Really? He's not even ashamed to tell people, say, he's seeking medical care out there. And the messenger convey to majority of the people here, and they say, we are gullible, we are so silly, and these people will continue to treat us like this because that culture of mekabontia kusiki care is not going to end in the past administration, it's going to continue. But said citizens no sorry demanded, say, we need to update our medical infrastructure. Critical health sector services we need to set them up in this country. You may not have to go out there. So obi call abontin for medical care. Maybe now are services that cannot be rendered within the jurisdiction, and you are required to go on medical referral for such services. And yes, sir, there can't be any reasonable justification for some of these things. But in a part of the world where we live, these things are common phenomenon, common occurrences. It happens any day, every blessed day. And in the name of cheap partisan politics, you find people who try to find justification for some of these things. So it has been normalized. I normal. And I say wait there. And I say wait there. And the other home. And at the end of the day, a man for finding it so easy to shirk responsibility, to throw away what they're supposed to do for the people, no, without a remorse. And because they think that being in public service, being in politics, being in government is an avenue to make wealth, to create wealth for yourself, for your family, and it ends there. And even while they exit office, the focus is always on them because Ken Ofori Attah or Mayo Clinic or Siki Care. This joker was here quoting Bible verses or Kujina Parliament can say be kwasiasem quote Bible verses. A painting who said or your hind before. At the time our countries are investing in artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, and other sort of sophisticated IT where you try to position workforce because nipa da sani mfa na ho de nya adwuma biem, but through some of these innovative apps and the platforms that are available, no, they are enhancing human capacity just to ensure that we can advance at a lightning speed, and countries anywhere in the world, no, are leveraging some of these tools to move forward. Can we say the same thing about us? Yeah, no, yeah, we see a sorry, Danny. Yeah, just say, tetening sabian semhuna for development and the pabra boom. And even Nyamena ye claim say yes, some no can a dear said what we are supposed to teach people is what we are teaching and Kenya bonnet. So at the point that these things have been heightened, no, the moral fabrics of our society consistently is subjected to constant decay. We have a rotten moral foundation, a very corrupt society from church to mosque to wherever, a very corrupt society. But we foolishly pride ourselves, oh, yeah, my, yeah, dear. So where we're supposed to channel our energy and pursue the new things that are coming, you know, we are not. Because always we can rationalize our failure. Because that is what weak people do. I've told you. So weak people will always find reasons for why they are failing. They will never blame themselves. And in life, you know, whenever you move beyond yourself and blame others for your own personal woes, you are done. Until growing up, nipa not if you are not being said before you no be no ye that because when you reason why he's failing, oh after all me yeah them cry before by me, and there is no motivation for you to do anything, and that's exactly where we are today. We are not advancing. Countries are setting up research laboratories, peeping into the future. This Internet of Things that has come in near my people are advancing. How are you able to customize these things for a local context? How are we able to benefit here, and how do we take advantage? Companies and these things are taking advantage, lynching on some of these things to take lead. Because the world is pacing. The world is really pacing. Nobody is leaving anybody behind. Until we leave behind, that is why you see this wide gap between us and our Western friends and friends elsewhere in America and other places. Because, you know, you're claw back. We are comfortable with where we are, be in power, satisfy your friend is saying insatiable need for wealth. Because I don't know it's insatiable. The person is trying to satisfy it. So it never ends. It's a long haul. So at the time, why is it the power? No, they try to find a way to come back. Obiti is also for Kufuor time. Finance Minister, Minister of Education, dictionary I am telling you, I need a ton money pa. Sanyama way in our course. So several years after Kufuor, this guy resurfaces again. When that position could have been taken by another person, then Oba was baby. So it is not about building anybody, it is about building themselves, putting themselves in the space as they will forever be in control. That is how sick leadership in our part of the world. And I just hope that the narrative will change going forward. Because if that is the same thing I ever to us this time around that, and it means that I was someone. So Ken Ofori Attah, whether he likes it or not, this particular guy must be brought back to this country, dead or alive, to answer for his crimes. Dead or alive, he must answer for his crimes. And we need to pursue this with all the aggression that it desires. I don't like national security people going into somebody's house. But we need to employ every single due process available to us because we have a lot of advantage in some of these cases. So we don't need to do certain things to upset the balance and to upset the discussion. So I know that a man for mind will tune to something different while the discussion takes a different turn. No. We just need to face these issues heads down and make sure, say, we pursue these people. and we make them account for their crimes. Because Nema no Moyeno cannot go unpunished. And similar thing, no, similar energy, no, must be extended to other places as well. Because I see, say, there are several people involved in these things. And let me try and see if I'll find what the special prosecutor said. Let me see, because it's something very, very, very important. I just want us to just listen to what the special prosecutor said, the energy, the tone, and I want him say that particular same energy, no, yet visit some of the issues. Abba, because that is the only way Emma Ghana for I find a comfort. That is the only way Emma Ghana for I find a comfort in what we are doing. And yes, people will not take us serious. Let's listen to what he said.
Contractual arrangements between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of the enhancement of revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and minerals and metals resources value chain. 2. Termination of a distribution, loss reduction, and associated network improvement project contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited and Beijing Xiaochen Technology BXC. 3. Procurement of contractors and materials and activities and payments in respect of the National Cathedral project. 4. Activities and payments in respect of a contract awarded by the Ministry of Health, initially commenced by the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives to Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for purchases and after-sales service and maintenance of 307 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 305 CDI ambulances for the National Ambulance Service. And 5. Payments out of and utilization of the tax refund account of Ghana Revenue Authority. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the fugitive's name is Kenneth Ofori Attah. Mr. Ofori Attah is 66 years old. He was the Minister of Finance of the Republic between 2017 and 2024. Mr. Ofori Attah left the jurisdiction on or around 2 January 2025. On 24 January 2025, the OSP communicated to Mr. Ofori Attah that the OSP considered him a suspect in respect of 4 of the cases described above. Mr. Ofori Attah was directed to attend in person the OSP on Monday, 10 February 2025 at 10 GMT for interview. By communication dated 31 January 2025, Mr. Ofori Attah instructed his lawyers to inform the OSP that he was out of the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds, and that the firm will notify the OSP of his arrival in the country in aid of rescheduling his personal attendance at the OSP. Further, the firm offered its willingness to provide the OSP with any information the OSP may require to aid in the investigation until his arrival in the country. Then on 5 February 2025, the OSP responded to Mr. Ofori Attah, copied to his lawyers, that the OSP did not need or require notification from his lawyers of his arrival in the jurisdiction. The OSP acknowledged Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyer's gracious offer to provide the OSP with information in aid of the investigation. However, and this is important, the OSP insisted that Mr. Ofori Attah's personal attendance at the OSP was required. After all, the lawyers are not under investigation. I don't need lawyers to answer questions on your behalf when you are being investigated. The OSP declined Mr. Ofori Attah's request to be away from the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds on his say-so. Consequently, the OSP directed Mr. Ofori Attah to indicate by close of business on Monday, 10 February 2025, a reasonable date of his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. The OSP warned Mr. Ofori Attah that if he failed so to do, the OSP would take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP at our own choosing. Subsequently, by a communication dated 10 February 2025, that is just Monday, Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers transmitted to the OSP a generic letter procured by Mr. Ofori Attah purporting to be from a doctor in a foreign jurisdiction, stating that Mr. Ofori Attah had been seen and evaluated, and that he was undergoing further testing and management and possible surgical intervention at an indicated future time. And further, that his medical condition necessitates that he will stay and follow up on his appointments. On account of this purported medical letter, Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers prayed that the attendance in person of Mr. Ofori Attah at the OSP should be fixed, taking into account the medical report from his doctors. And at 4:16 p.m. the very next day, that is yesterday, Tuesday, 11 February 2025, before we could respond to the letter that came on Monday, the OSP received another letter from Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers. This time, it was an inquiry. Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers wanted to know, and they stated that they were informed by the household of Mr. Ofori Attah that in the morning of Tuesday, 11 February 2025, that is yesterday, 12 men, comprising 1 police officer, 4 military men, and 7 other men in plain clothing, visited Mr. Ofori Attah's house, and that by threat of force, they were able to enter Mr. Ofori Attah's house, and they undertook an exercise purporting to be a search of every room, office, gym, and other spaces in the house. Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers then inquired if the OSP could confirm that the actions of the 12 men were the instance of the OSP, so as to enable them to decide if a complaint to the police would be unnecessary. Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers then prayed for a prompt response from the OSP to prevent imposter action. We are now responding promptly, and we have chosen the course of answering Mr. Ofori Attah's inquiry publicly at this briefing, considering the circumstances surrounding the purported raid at Mr. Ofori Attah's house, media reportage of the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that some media houses have stated emphatically that the OSP was behind the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that the purported raid is being made to appear as if it was some untoward action by the OSP stemming from some contrived vendetta held by the OSP against Mr. Ofori Attah. So, here we go. And this is our response to Mr. Ofori Attah directly.
Yes, so said let me see a catcher no. This is the special prosecutor. You continue the video, so don't worry. This is the special prosecutor. Oka Nema Asi, not Nema Akoso, between the outfit and the Ken Ofori Attah as a person of interest. And what declare no as a fugitive. What done from justice. And per the various correspondences are across between the lawyers of Ken Ofori Attah himself, and the special prosecutor. No, they get a certain your friend is saying no shimbise. The guy has just decided say on attend it, because in the first place, letter na every doctors in no itself wasn't a medical report, but rather was a letter from a hospital. The letter, the said letter in question was not a medical report, because there is a difference between a medical report and a letter from a doctor. And other correspondences in our case, the special prosecutor, according to him, is satisfied, say, Papa na yena say ba na oma to answer for his crimes. And for that matter, he is going to adopt every means available to ensure his arrival in the country to attend to the special prosecutor for whatever. the Americano, Sanema way Cosuina, I know do one him through sometimes. All you see is some level of unseriousness on the part of some of our state institutions in dealing with some of these matters. And Ken Ofori Attah on his part, knowing that what he has done, and he knows very well, say, Ghana, your system not any so effective. Say a bit me and swan the number chroma, or find one D. Because now no Maslog, lay your fence and former Maslog boss, yet caught to prosecute you, no. As about my till date, I'm not sure she's back in this country. There's a judgment there that I train only her. And you know, for some time now, Abaya culture say, your mind is kana bo minor format. All that you have to do is offer passport ebiane. Ko winye biane ko Togo kura na obi antimi for some fa omba. Because state in the back you see this kind of grandstanding from a special prosecutor. People will talk about it in the media. In the end, nothing will happen. That I'm saying, sir, the narrative must change going forward. We need to change the narrative. So people who may take foolish decisions, either cost or minor, must equally be prepared. And if they are not prepared, they must be forced to come and answer for those crimes. Because this is a democracy. And accountability is a key component of any serious democracy. You can just mess up and give funny reasons and then get away with it. And let me also go back to Parliament. Me who your friend said Mahama Yaragane, the other side, debating this whole special prosecutor, Ken Ofori Attah, rating at some point to committee say, Mahama Yaraga render apology to Ken Ofori Attah. And I say, really? Why would the majority leader render apology? Because when you're spokesperson for the supposed security agencies of that particular raid. So what is the apology for? And I say, so if you're apologizing to Ken Ofori Attah for that raid, Bakato said, me, I don't support that raid. It's barbaric. But Akosua, Parliament is not a place that you use to render apology. Parliament is not a place you use to render apology. So what about other people? National security, so is the majority leader going to render apology to Obia? Now is he the spokesperson and I say, or Obia now render apology when the security agencies didn't say bunu? You see, let us not mix responsibilities in this particular manner. Obia who may be or standing. Law enforcement agencies are independent agencies. They are supposed to do their own thing. Omo mess it up. Now you disagree. Parliament can call them and answer questions. And these are some of the things we've been asking over the years. When Dampare police started killing people, military were shooting people here and there. Techiman when people were killed. Nobody had a sense. Said Yemfrem Krofoway. Now you find out why some of these things are happening. Till date, Parliament didn't do such things. And then you go back to Parliament and say because of your Ken Ofori Attah, you're reading. Yes, reading it, now we condemn it. But under what power? Under what authority? Under what? Are you rendering apology to Ken Ofori Attah for what? Is Parliament the place for such discussions? That is why I'm saying that Parliament loses the essence, the reverence, because for the start of this 9th Parliament, has been one of a pathetic one. And I think that is something that we need to look at. Not who where or she stands, what you can do at one point in time. International security in the future, Parliament will be an avenue to render apology to who? Let us get serious in this country. Then I think that one major issue may has to do with this particular way. And may say time, don't go away. Make sure say I walk you through this thing. And yet the scandal at National Service Secretariat. May say this particular thing time ni wu areho. And I have been telling you, say, we are being ruled by a bunch of unintelligent criminals. Criminals are said, omunim nyansa, a cartel of unintelligent criminals. Criminals are chronono mobono kran nyansa and sign kahon. And nyansa ananyasa omu obi no mu de asie. Omu nibi. And these are people, they were plucked from somewhere and in the name of dirty cheap politics were placed at strategic position. And they were ready to collect to their destructive best, what they do best. And this scandal way also exposes the internal weakness in our governance system. The weakness so embedded, systemic. I give birth to failure. I'm a failure now by inherent. And the institution is your because of these mechanisms give birth to failure. You are embedded within, then the outcome will be failure. And that's exactly how these things are playing out. National Service Secretariat, they were the very people who were in charge of this whole thing. And the National Service Scandal, the money time say, started from 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 20. So the change in an air cost in a year. Adia air cost way by not twice. And then some of minor lose a whooping 2.2 billion. Just as you cannot conquer no tia. This is a country, I am now that year Bobosia, IMF 3 billion. Ye pacha, ye koba, and crank to a better kruma laptop bomunche telling us what to do. This is where we are today. And Mrs. Awoshe National Service. Now Oshe Nema Akoswa. Obubefu, I'm telling you. Because it's so dirty to the extent that you can't even find the right words. How would they describe it Sadia way? Good. And see, that is the figures in the let me slot in the figures. The cost estimation in a National Service Scandal so pay attention and let's go through. And I'm about to tell how they did it. And why I'm telling you that these guys are so stupid to the extent that they don't even fit to be anywhere close to government. Because of the way this whole scandal was procured. So we had the National Service way na the year 2018 to 2019. Aye National Service Secretariat. Edibeto we are say obianim including documents where Edahai was submitted to Parliament. The cultures of documents where were submitted to Parliament. Parliament for ya was so we na red wine na second red na say ya trust parliamentary data. Good. So omo announce say omo nipa 85,708. Ena omo announce say omo ye eligible to do national service in the year in question, year 2018-2019. But documents omo de come out Parliament but they say 135,603 people ended up doing national service. Ghost names added. 49,000 people, 49,895 people. And at a time, yes, so in a single year, no, you find nipa mako 49,000. And ye do your friends are documents in and a year two or more cap bosumi bia. That year, we spent a whooping 334 million Ghana cedi. And he did 2 years uncle for wake up. So which means that this money ended up in somebody's pocket. That is what I'm trying to tell you. 85,708 people. They ended up deploying 135,000. Parliament has an oversight responsibility to ensure that some of these figures are cross-checked to ensure validity. And sana, nipa na otuaka no had an oversight responsibility to cross-check to validate these individuals before they pay. So I'm talking to you about institutional weakness, the structural inefficiencies are pinning to the heart of governance in this country that makes it possible for some of these crimes to be committed without a trace. And that's exactly what happened. The following year, almost in the past 77,962 they ended up taking over 114,074. Sika ended up paying to ghost. 242 million Ghana cedis. The following year, 2021, na COVID, na year struggle on mine no enya sika na year bere bebe no at the time. Almost in the part 81,081 and acquire national service. Documents of the common parliament, they 110,332. Ghost names of the shame, na 29,000. Ghost name na ye can nipa 129,000 nipa mako. Omutimi fail at Cross Sports Stadium ma. The following year, omoko catch their parliament say omo the 115,240. And this way a parliament na we nyansani na to na we adwuma nyansa wo ma. 1 year nipa 85,000 and acquire national service. The following year, that number no etimi rise to over 179,000 in a space of 3 years. We will be away nyansani na why wadwen say wo ye adwuma for mine na. Ade bi be prekill am wakwa akopwe what is going on? But these people didn't, because they don't care. And these numbers here make actually we and also ba same coy. Year na year 2022 2023 na Ghana year struggle na ye declare bankruptcy na ye ho kire ye no. That time no omo di nipa 64,000 ghost names and ko shame sika e ko mo ho 429 million Ghana cedis. Then the following year, almost in the 122,000 acquire national service, they ended up sending to parliament 182,000 people. So ghost names there 59,000 people. We ended up paying 513. We can say identity sikana cost because at the time na ya tum national service sikana na ya raising kakra. So explaining why the amount, even though 64,000 ghost names no eso change 59,000, but the amount here is bigger than the previous amount. And right here, 2024, 2025, yeah, almost 180,000 and more they call. Scandal no blow yeah pe. They ended up nipa 80. 90. If you look at the last figure, it's so funny. If you look at the last figure, it's so funny. These are people who are telling you, say, the year 2014, last year and this year, no, nipa 180,000 and they acquire national service, or we are qualified. But NSS Scandal we shall see air pop it up quickly. Nipa na mo acquire national service and afibia e biba kan homa ghost names back home no. This time round, no, nipa na omu deploy 98,000 and what they call parliament. So which means the difference I almost 81,000. 81,000 people. So we say this is how far the Lord has brought us. Kwan ya mo fa so amoye ye ne. And the schools no mo use here to do these deals no. Aye. KN University Kumasi. UDS your friend is saying UCC, University of Development, Tamale Technical University, Dambai College of Education, University of Professional Studies, Valley View University, University of Education Winneba, Kwame Nkrumah University of. There is a reason why Legon Enim, and it's simple. Accra and Omo here Motubetri. So they needed to take institutions outside Accra. Sebeya enko raise eyebrow. Because so we are index numbers and as for you so Legona very way say people are very familiar with most of them in Accra. And we are so easy to identify. So schools no mu use we deeply no UDS. Ken US ni UCC crowd the Kakrebi Dambai College of So they created fake student IDs. IDs are fake. And no create for non-existing student. And you see, I've been saying that these people omunim nyansa. Nyansa na omuni national service na omoye no individuals na omo slot omudi. There is one person, one Abubakar, one person. You say Oko School UDS. One person no ya dinidin shem mako 223 times. The same name, the same age, the same school, the same ID number. But he was paid 223 times every month. And nipa no modo almost omudin ehhehye sa niema we obi 92 years. Ghana 92-year-old person a national service. That is how stupid these people are. They catch it all no. Nipa no modo omoye sa niema we no. Obi edi 90 Obi edi 92 years. Obi edi 75 years. 75 years or no national service. And we na America no eno nie. The other way na America say ni din RPM no. Or see during the 2020-2023 service year, one Abubakar Fuseni, 59, a supposed graduate who read BA Integrated Development Studies in the UDS, was assigned a fake index number. The index number near 591GHA/72591320-1-2. The same name Abubakar Fuseni appeared 223 times in the NSA database for the same year, and they all pursued BA Integrated Studies at UDS the same year. That is how foolish these people are. Sana make cultural say omunim nyansa even kronono mobon. One person Nadine appeared in the NSA database 226 times. The whole of the year. So a cabal, a syndicate at the National Service Secretariat, or Master ghost names they are set at the enum, and Tisicano comes to them. That is why people are calling this lady gift or what and other people are involved in this particular way. And this particular issue is one thing the current government can never let it go. Because we need to recover, prison, yes. We need to retrieve every kobo. Say, omo panties and omo draws across your tongue to retrieve this money, sir. We need to. Ebiesi pen. Say, omo draws and omo panties across your don't come to so na your tongue. Now you retrieve every penny that was wrongly paid. That we need to do so. We need to chase these people to the bottom of hell to recover these monies. Because a deliberate, a criminal, a conspiracy by a certain group of people. Because government at the time, no, the president was a lost cause. Or no, no, so he was just hanging there, arrogance, and it's a blue not way. And the people were fully stealing, he didn't care. He was rather chasing people. He was rather beating people up. He was rather abducting people, chasing people in various institutions, while this thing right under his nose. Na ekoso. And this national service scandal is something that can never be wrapped under the carpet. And trust me, Ghanaians will be so unforgiving if President Mahama does not ensure that every penny paid to these criminals is recovered and at the same time jail them to send a message to people out there that Ghana is no longer what it used to be, that the political narrative is changing, that we need to set example for people to know that public service is not an enterprise to make money. So this is the reason why I am employing the special prosecutor to drop all the jokes and be serious. Because the drama and this thing surrounding this whole press conference and this thing, you see, some of us, we are not moved by some of these things. So we want concrete actions to be done. We want concrete actions to be done. What are you doing to secure the guy's arrival? And several other cases. What are you doing to ensure, say, we get swift reaction? Sabia Ghana for once again will have hope, trust in government and the political establishment. Say once again, Ghana is back to life. These are the kind of seriousness that we need to show for people to know, say, indeed, mine is serious. That is why yesterday in America, I disagree with Attorney General when he says he's cancelling the cases and so forth. These are political issues. So when him said they have no substance in it, let them proceed, pass judgment, and people know that these are political cases and I'm for this because I can say here some of the prosecutions were foolish prosecutions. Oliver and several other people. Some were politically motivated. But in order not to create impression, we say, oh, 2 cases no good because 1 hour bantino. The cases were not solid cases. So you let the judges pronounce judgment on these cases so that they go to their finality. It ends there. So that in the future, nobody comes and open up. So, and the narrative is out there. People, this is politics. Perception is key. And you do these things 1 week after you come to explain. Why didn't you explain when you were cancelling or discontinuing these cases? Like I just said, governance and then you are working with people. Everybody is following keenly. So every step on the way must be explained. You need to assign reasons. And reasoning and logic must be applicable in everything that we do. And yes, I don't know why are we know the ghost will be hunting and then we come back to build a new narrative. Definitely there will be a pushback. And Raul was that shameless guy. Enya energy for the first time in so many years. Confederate Dame or no, Enya Kukudro Ebaya press conference. That shameful guy. Enya Kukudro Ebaya press conference. Abra oye Attorney General on a jackpack pace and Mwasia Cassia before you could sign a press conference to explain. Yesterday, that guy had the infantry to stage a press conference. Why? Because the AG did what he did. I said governance is an art. You can perfect it, you can make it look bloody. The choice is yours to make. In doing this, rebuilding confidence is key. And at no point in time must you leave loose ends. I am a man for any certain impression motives. You don't do that. That is governance for you. So like I'm saying, the special prosecutor, let's visit the special prosecutor issue once again.
Out of the jurisdiction on medical grounds on your say-so. if you're a serious law enforcement agency, would you just take a person's declaration that, oh, I am so much an invalid that I'm unable to come? You would demand, Elton, you would demand to know more, right? And that is exactly what we did. So we pushed. The response that came was unconvincing. That he may, at some future time, undergo possible surgical procedure. And I said something which is very crucial. There's intelligence available to us, which we do not want to reveal now because it may compromise the investigation. That tells us that, and that's what I stated, that it is just a ruse, that he can travel to the jurisdiction. It's not as if he comes to the jurisdiction, we'll promptly lock him up and throw the key away. It is a process we go through. This is a democratic institution with very well prescribed constitutional and statutory legal processes. So what do you fear coming in to answer questions? You can reschedule your appointments in such a way that you can come in and go. We will not say you should stay and die at all costs. What kind of persons will we be? And so that is not the issue. The issue is your express intention that you've gone away definitely. What do you have to show for it? You get a purported medical letter, a very sketchy one, which tells us that you have scheduled appointments which you need to attend and that you are being reviewed, and there are some future dates you will maybe undergo some surgical procedure. For us, this is unconvincing. And as I stated in my briefing, the letter doesn't say you are so much of an invalid that you can't complain and travel to the jurisdiction. We all fall sick at some point, and we all go seek medical attention wherever. But if you are not at the point of death, if you are not bedridden, if you are not on a stretcher, this is a ruse, and we are unconvinced. As far as we are concerned, he just doesn't want to return to the jurisdiction voluntarily, and we have given him the chance so to do voluntarily, failing which we will pull him to Ghana. Yes, sir. I mean, your pen doesn't write. Go on.
Yes, so Ken Ofori Attah come back willingly or be pulled back forcefully. How exactly is that not done? Can we say then that now you declared him wanted?
No, I didn't. You don't say, can we now say, I just declared him a wanted person and a fugitive from justice. So don't put ifs and buts on it.
Great.
We have declared him a fugitive from justice. He's wanted by the OSP.
What are the processes that you trigger? For instance, are you bringing in the Interpol? And if you are, how guaranteed are you that there will cooperate? We've been there before. We know people have
you know very well that I don't disclose strategy until I'm ready to do so. See, but a little bit of I don't want to use the word education. I'm a lecturer at heart, so let me put it this way. See, that Interpol red notice, this is general, not in relation to the case at hand. Interpol red notice is not an arrest warrant, and it is not an extradition request. There are so many things that go into it. So just because you have issued an Interpol red notice doesn't mean automatically Interpol will help you to pull the person here. So this is just by way of education. Yeah, right.
My name is Hansen Agiman. I work with CTFM Channel 1 TV. Now, considering the timelines for the engagement with Mr. Ken Ofori Attah, it appears he left the jurisdiction before you gave him notice that you wanted to engage him. And if that is so, he had taken a decision already to go out of the country indefinitely. Doesn't that defeat your understanding that he's seeking to run away, let's say, from being interrogated?
Samuel, I'm overriding you. I'll just answer as we go. It makes the memory fresher. Mm-hmm.
And then the second question is on the read.
It's on the
read. The read the lawyers wrote to you. They sought to inquire from you if the read was from your outfit. You say it is not from your outfit, but you've gone ahead to say that you think that it's staged or done investigative bodies before coming into your conclusion that it is state. And the final one is there have been conversations on oral, and one of the things your office have been investigating has to do with the sale of stool lands and state lands. And the conversations we've heard from members of oral has to do with the purchase of state lands by persons who are politically exposed. Now, my concern is that it may happen in a way where you may be investigating the same thing, where the oral team, Trigger Attorney General, is also investigating the same. So, to what extent have you been involved with this whole oral thing?
Right. Let me answer. As I said, it makes the memory fresher. Say, Johan has me up perpetually. Next one is to. I see he's giving the microphone to you already. So, right. Your first question. Your intention to leave the jurisdiction indefinitely does not stop us from requiring your presence. You are a citizen of Ghana. You were a public officer. You were a finance minister for a very long time. And if you have decided to go away indefinitely, that is your personal decision. But when a law enforcement agency wants you physically in, you have to show up. You do not have a choice about it. You get me? So your travel arrangements, your travel plans, your travel habits have nothing to do with a law enforcement agency. But at the point where the law enforcement agency informs you that we need you physically, we need to see you for you to answer certain questions, you don't direct us to your lawyers and say, oh, whatever information that you want, your lawyers can provide for you. We are not investigating your lawyers. Your lawyers can't, and your lawyers were not the finance ministers. You were the finance minister. And it is your role as finance minister and the things that came about in respect of this investigation in your duty as finance minister. That is why we want to see you. Throwing us to your lawyers doesn't answer it. So if you have formed an intention to leave the jurisdiction before we contacted you, well, breaking news, a law enforcement agency wants you. Do you have a choice about it? You don't. Why is it that if the FBI declares someone wanted, we all go agog and it suits our purposes, for instance, in the US? Or is it because we watch so many movies and we've come to accept it? But when the OSP declares someone wanted, then it becomes something that perhaps we should push against. As I said, we sitting here have done all our checks and everything shows to us that the man just doesn't want to show up. And that was communicated in the first letter. It was clear in there that he's gone indefinitely. It was when we pushed that you cannot just tell us that. Before things started cascading, then we started seeing the real intention. But your first intention of telling us that you are away indefinitely was what you intended to stick to. The raid. I do not intend to go into detail here in respect of our intelligence as to what we do know. But the way it was carried out, the way the media reportage went, the way immediately the OSP was linked to it, the way all of a sudden it is the OSP having some vendetta against him, that is why. Did the media even know that we had asked him to come? No. So how did it just then get into the media all of a sudden that the OSP has some vendetta against Mr. Ofori Attah, and that is why the OSP raided his house? When we did not carry out the raid. Quickly, and this is coming a day after the lawyers had informed us and given us some purported medical letter. And our checks quickly and our intelligence shows us that. I said, it's one of two things. It is staged, or it is an imposter action. To situate it, I say, baby, Nyankupon, Abonampesi, Honabun, Sam Tutunikobi. Staged or an imposter action, and it's not coming from us. Why are we then being blackened for it? There's something untoward going on. And for us, we believe that it is time. I will declare him a fugitive from justice. And this is now. Oral. Yes, we started our investigation of at the Lands Commission, the sale of stool lands, state lands, and vested assets. a while back. It is huge because we gave ourselves a timeline of the commencement of the investigation would be from 7 January 1993 to date. So it is a huge endeavor. Indeed, if we say we're going to go as we want to go, it might even take 5-6 years to come to a full conclusion of the nature of the things and what actually has gone on. And you ask whether we were involved in the oral preparation. The Attorney General himself wasn't involved, but the report has been handed over to him. So I strongly do believe that the Attorney General and the OSP will go into some of the processes and some of the cases so as we won't do an overlap of the cases that we are investigating, for sure. And Attorney General, well, if you know the relationship well, he was my lecturer at Legon. And then we formed a firm together some time ago. And then when he became a Deputy Attorney General some time back, I departed to form my own firm with another person. So there is that rapport, and we communicate a lot. So we will confer on that. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is Abdul. I write for the News Center newspaper.
The News
Center.
Right.
Newspaper. My first question is, in your first statement about the raid in the house, you were categorical that intelligence available to you indicate that it was staged. You didn't say it was suspicious. You said intelligence.
Sorry, I didn't say it was what?
You didn't say suspect.
I didn't say it, no.
You said intelligence.
Yes, and in my response to him, I didn't say it was suspected. I insisted. I said it was, no, I said it was staged, or at best, an imposter action. Those are my words.
Yeah, so I just want to
Right.
on the intelligence. So, I'm a journalist.
You want me to reveal it to you?
No, I don't want to.
Ah,
I
okay.
don't want to say that. I'm a journalist. To tell the intelligence available to you shows that you know that this thing on record. Then I assume that you know those behind it, those who planned it and those who executed it. Is that the understanding? That
You still want me to reveal my intelligence to you?
No, I'm not going to mention it.
Right.
I have to say intelligence available to you.
Right.
Categorically indicates that the thing was staged. That was what you said first. So I'm saying that if I'm a journalist and you tell me that, then the assumption is that it means you know those who planned it.
We have a fair idea.
You have information.
We have a fair idea, yes. And I situate, when he asked me, I situated it in a certain context.
No,
I said,
not this person's question. I'm saying the first statement.
no, calm down, calm down. Say, let's have a conversation. Yeah. Let's not talk over each other. I'm saying, because your question relates to what he asked, and that is why I'm linking it to it. I said, in the context in which I situated it, it became very clear to us. The way the OSP was linked to it, the OSP was attached to it in a very negative sense, when the media did not even know that we were after Mr. Ken Ofori Attah. Did anyone, one of you here know that we were after Mr. Ken Ofori Attah? You didn't know. How did it then turn out yesterday?
No, we knew because there was a newspaper publication.
The newspaper public. Calm down. You didn't know. The newspaper public. Wait, hold on.
Please, you ask a question, I'm answering.
Hold on. I'm saying you didn't know.
That.
Calm down. I said, let's have a conversation.
Yes.
If you talk over me, I won't answer you again. Listen, I'm saying you didn't know. What you knew was our half-yearly report, which we put in the Daily Graphic and on our website, that we were investigating Mr. Ofori Attah for National Cathedral Project. That is all that you know. What you don't know is all that I've enumerated. And what you don't know is the exchange of correspondence between the lawyers of Mr. Ofori Attah and us. And what you don't know is the purported medical letter that was transmitted to us by Mr. Ofori Attah's lawyers. And what you don't know is our insistence and warning Mr. Ofori Attah that if you don't show up on a certain day, we will come after you. You didn't know all that. So when I say you don't know, just admit that you didn't know. What you know is what we put in the paper. Proceed.
That's what my question was.
If you calm down, it will make things clearer.
I'm saying that.
Right.
Your first statement before this question, you are asking my question as though it's related to this man. I'm saying no.
You fail to recognize that it is related to his question, but proceed.
If you say intelligence available, it meant saying this because if the man says something that's happening...
Yes, I'm answering you. We have a fair idea of who did it.
Okay. That's Second, you talk about
He still has the microphone.
The first letter.
Right.
You admitted that at the time you issued that you invited him, you were not aware that he has traveled. And that it was...
You see, pick my words carefully. I never said that. I said he left the jurisdiction on or about. Yes. Listen. He left the... You see, I see a penchant of you in putting words in people's mouths. But listen, he left... What I stated was that he left the jurisdiction on or about 2 January 2025. That's what I stated. I didn't say that we didn't know. But the fact that you are out of the jurisdiction doesn't prevent us from communicating with you, is it? Especially in this modern era of all gadgetry. So we knew that he was out of the jurisdiction. But we know where he lives. That there are people there. Yeah.
I just want to draw the first letter.
Mm-hmm.
When you sent the letter, the employers responded that he's out of the jurisdiction and that for the communication to them is that he's out of the jurisdiction indefinitely.
On medical grounds.
My question is, if I leave the country, you are aware that I've left the country, and then later you invite me, and my lawyers write to you that, oh, I'm out of the country indefinitely on medical grounds. I don't think that first letter will be basis to say I'm trying to run away from justice. It will be
Once again, if the first letter was the reason why we just organized a briefing, we would have done it a long time ago. But we didn't just base our actions on the first letter. We waited and we pushed. We asked for more. So if you say the first letter could not have been the basis, that wasn't the basis. But as I'm saying, subsequent events then informed us, instructed us that, oh, the first intention you communicated to us in your first letter is really what you want to do. And that the things you are bringing now, rules, afterthought.
So this subsequent is what determined that
yes, the subsequent actions then took us back to the first letter for us to come to the conclusion that ba na umpesa uba.
All the investigation about him you talked about, they involve, I think about 3 of them involve private sector institutions who deal with certain contracts.
But linked to public agencies.
Yes. So my question is, you yourself have just noted that with technology, it's easy to get people wherever they are in the world. If there are other people involved in the investigations and they are here and you are interrogating them, if technology, is it possible? It's not possible that whatever information you want from Ken Ofori Attah, you can get it from him without him physically being present in Ghana. Thank you.
See, as for possibilities, we cannot determine how far they go. What we deal with is probabilities. It is very possible for me to develop wings right now and fly out of this room like a bird. But is it in the least probable? No. And that is why in the law we don't deal with possibilities. We are dealing with probabilities. Now when a law enforcement agency tells you that your physical appearance, a former president of the United States was wanted a city, he had to leave wherever he was to attend to that call in that city and be charged. The OSP wants you physically for you to answer some questions. Don't know our processes by which we go through by charging a person, by arresting a person, and all that. You wouldn't know that, would you say? So when we say that your personal attendance is required, it means that we do not want to do a teleconferencing or a Zoom conferencing. So if your response to us that you are bedridden, we will seek to find whether indeed you are bedridden and you can't travel. You get me? We will not just take your word for it, and that is why I stated in the brief that we won't, on your say-so, we won't admit what you are saying, that you are so ill that you can't come to the jurisdiction. And so, show us more. We didn't just move. We were fair, and we kept asking. It was at some point yesterday that we decided that he has to be declared a fugitive from justice. And we have done so. Yes, sir. Well, he made it a debate. That's why it became like that.
And Gangam is my name.
Right.
I write for the Informer.
For the
Informer.
right.
At what time will you apply your second option to secure Mr. Ken Ofori Attah?
Someone was saying, leave it to us. Like I told the other gentleman, we don't like disclosing strategy like that. Sometimes it compromises investigation.
And who are the lawyers for because it's lawyers.
I can come. Let's leave the lawyers out. You see, they are my colleagues at the bar. They are not under investigation. They are not the people the OSP want. You get me? They are doing their job as lawyers. And you know, in law, every lawyer will tell you, it is what your client tells you. That is what you transmit. So all that they are doing, they are transmitting the information their client gave to them. So, pardon me, let's leave the lawyers and the identity out of it. Is that another hand? Sorry?
You have a personal issue with Ken Ofori Attah?
God forbid. I don't have any issues with anybody. I don't hold grudges. You know, it also came up when we invited Professor Frimpong Boateng here. Same thing. The story was that I was doing someone bidding, fighting someone's battle for him, people who have issues against Professor Frimpong Boateng. That's why we brought him here. Look at the litany of cases I mentioned, and there are more which we will go into. Personal issues with anyone. I did not assume this office or swear an oath to defend the constitution and the laws of this country, to go on a personal vendetta or personal chases because I don't like you or you've crossed my path or anything. Otherwise, I'm sure there will be more than 1,000 people reporting to the OSP every day. Every day, someone crosses you. But that is not the reason why I'm the special prosecutor, and I'm never going to do that. Personal vendetta, God forbid.
Right,
yes. Sorry, I didn't get any. Right.
At what point that the cases you're looking at in relation to Ken Ofori Attah expand to 4? You mentioned that it possibly could rise to 5 because
No. It's when we started. Sorry, when we started, it was 4, but by last week it had expanded to 5.
Was there a petition?
No.
From someone?
No.
What is informing the expansion of these cases against?
Our investigation, as we investigate the others, it branches out. The arteries lead to one another, and then it took us to the GRA tax refund account. Right. So, and as I was saying, Marina, right? From there, it may branch to other places. We do not know, but we do not close it up. You get it? So far as the investigation is leading you somewhere, you look at it. So the letter that went to him, asking him to report, had 4, not 5.
If someone says we're fishing, will the person be right?
For what?
Fishing, because you say you started with 4, it's leading into others, and it will lead into a lot more.
You see, the day of planning is always different from the day of battle. You know that. You plan that today you are going to do this, and then you get to the battlefield that your opponent has some other strategy which you have to rework yourself, especially in football. Saying you start one investigation, and then it leads to the other. Let me give you a good example. We started the La Bianca investigation. Where did it lead us to? Auctions. Meanwhile, that wasn't why we started that case. It was in respect of a customs advance ruling. 2 customs advance ruling just for one company, just 2 for one company. Then, as we were delving in and going into it, realized that no, it was showing some other form of conduct in respect of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And that is how we ended up at auction sales of vehicles and other goods. And we know what the outcome of that was. So, for a good investigator, director of investigation here will tell you, always keep an open mind. If you keep a closed mind that this is only what you are doing, you may miss other things because things relate to each other. They are always not in a vacuum like that. Right. A payment, let's say, to one entity may be coming from a certain source. So when you trace that source, you may realize that there are so many things going on in the source where that payment came from that will lead you to other cases. Why are there so many payments going from that particular source? That is not even what you started to investigate, but then you go and see it. That's the beauty of the game. Yes. Yes, sir. Oh, sorry. You don't have the microphone and you he has the floor. Right. Sorry? Reuters.
Are you able to tell how you started? Was it through a petition or whistleblower or what? And then two, based on the status of
How we started what? Right.
somebody take you off, were you petitioning, which of the cases kind of did you start with? And then based on the status, are you able to put a value to it out of the 4 or the 5 at the moment? Are you able to say you are going after him because of this amount of money reportedly involved or something?
If you would recall, one of the cases has been, say from Reuters, if you recall, one of the cases has been on a half-yearly report for a while now. Remember, the one on ECG. It's been there for a while now. We started, when did we start? 3 years ago? 2022. So we started the ECG investigation in 2022. You see, but that wasn't based on a tip-off or anything. It was just in respect of a dissolution of a contract, which then brought about some unpleasant consequences, which then took us to go look at it. So from 2022, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Energy had been on our radar from 2022, and we started. So when we started from the ECG, then at some point, the other cases came in, SML. Then after that, the ambulances. Then after that, National Cathedral, right here beside us. Then last week, GRA refund, tax refund account. You get me? Yeah, so we started these investigations 3 years ago. Right. Yes, sir. Oh, the value. Sir, I cannot place a value on it for you right now.
My name is Maso. I write for the
The what? Chronicle.
Chronicle. You mentioned,
So you are the spear of the nation.
I want to take you to the medical reports.
Right.
You mentioned, you described it as reported medical reports. And you also
I didn't describe it as a report. I said purported medical letter.
reported medical letters.
It is not a report in our record, it is a letter.
Okay, of interest
It is a generic letter to whom it may concern, generic letter. Yes.
Of interest to me is the qualification reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you work around it.
Right.
And when you spoke about the wind in his house, you said your intelligence
Mm-hmm.
indicates that it was either an imposter action or
It was staged or at best an imposter action. Yeah.
well. So my understanding is that you did some background checks to arrive at that conclusion. I would want to find out whether you've done same checks, possibly from a medical or the hospital that the purported letter is coming from, to be able to know that it was purported. Or I don't know. I want to be sure whether you've done
But that's good journalism. You know, I keep referring to the fact that there is some bit of intelligence available to us, which we do not. You're listening. Which we do not want to reveal now, for fear that it may compromise the investigation. It is a reason why we keep saying it is a purported medical letter. We never qualified it as a report. It is a medical letter stating exactly what I said in my briefing. That was all there was to it. But I was at pains to point out that that purported medical letter never stated that he was an invalid to the point where he is unable to travel to the jurisdiction. For us, it's very crucial. And we also stated in the briefing that it wasn't demonstrated so. You get it? Yeah. We can all say that I'm not well, I can't come to work today, or it's raining at my area, so I'm unable to come to work. We can all say that. Sorry? Follow up. Sorry, he says he has a follow up. Let's follow him up and then.
Is it for fear of
people thinking that you are just persecuting somebody or on a fishing expedition, but for use that. I know that when doctors are writing such letters, there is a medical person with a signature on those things. Yes, you said you have some intelligence. I want to confirm that you've done your checks abroad without necessarily stating the specific hospital or the specific medical person who you are.
I get you. First on persecution. If without any precursors, I just called you, invited you here this morning without anything, we just declared him a wanted person, then that is persecution. But we've been through processes. And that is why I said earlier that do not think that we do not have the milk of human kindness. We are also persons. We can fall ill. Who amongst us has not fallen ill before? But place it in context and the exchange of correspondence and what was going on. You would come to a certain conclusion that we came. And I said, no serious law enforcement agency would accept that because of this, you are unable to show up. No serious law enforcement agency. Once again, let me go to the US. If the FBI said that, you applaud. OSP is saying it, so maybe there's persecution. We're also up to our task and we're doing it. If you tell any law enforcement agency in the world that kind of letter that came to us, no serious law enforcement agency would accept that because of that, you are so sickly and invalid that you can't show up. It will come after you. That's why we are going after him. There is a contest. And then again, what was your second?
Whether there is a specific hospital and a medical person.
Well, see, I never said we doubt the authenticity of the authorship of the letter. Once again, get my words carefully. I'm saying it's a purported medical letter. I never casted doubt on where it's coming from. I never casted doubt on the person who signed it. I never casted doubt on the letterhead on which it appeared. What I did say is that for us, it is a ruse intended for him never to show up willingly. Yeah. And if you say we've done our checks, yes, we've done our checks. And that bit of information I said I won't reveal to you now. We fear it may compromise the investigation. Right. So forgive me and pardon me for that. If we think we should reveal it at some future point, we would. Okay. Yes, sir. Oh, he has a microphone.
All right. My name is Joe Lagoda. I work with Olingo Media Group, Bullet TV.
Bullet TV.
Yes,
please. Brutal.
No, not in a bad way.
Oh, I understand.
Okay. So there are concerns out there about the timing of some of these cases and the invitations and all of that. We know some of these issues have been with you when Ken Ofori Attah was the finance minister. When did you realize that he was needed for this investigation? And why did you have to wait for there to be a change of government? That's the question many Ghanaians are asking out there. How do you respond to that question?
You know, if it was just a one-off case, then maybe you may have a point. And, mind you, if Mr. Ofori Attah had showed up at the OSP, you would not have known it. You get it? The reason why we are having this briefing is because he failed to show up. And for us, it is a ruse for him not to come to the jurisdiction willingly. But you see, as I said, it is not a one-off matter. As the Director of Investigations stated, we started ECG in 2022. It's an ongoing process. These cases, you hasten with patience. Otherwise, you will miss a lot. Mind you, it's a criminal investigation. Mind you, the outcome of a criminal process is that someone may lose their liberty. You have to be painstaking. And I keep telling my directors, If you bring a case to me and it is 70-30, I won't move. If it is 50-50, don't even bring it to me. I only start listening to you when it is 90-10. That is 90, that there is the real likelihood and probability that some criminality has ensued. But from there, we then go into SML. The SML investigation, we had to pause it, waiting for KPMG. Remember, there was a presidential directive to KPMG. We paused it for several months, waiting for it to do, because you do not want to do overlapping and expending very limited resources when you do not have to. So when the KPMG report was birthed, then we went back to it, looking at it again. And all of a sudden, the ambulance matter came up. It wasn't until late November 2024 that Shraj issued its report on the National Cathedral project. Was it 28th November? Just a few months ago, that Shraj issued that report. Shraj referred the matter to us and said that if it was necessary, we should go to it. And we stated that, yeah, it was necessary. So from the ending of November 2024, we went into it. By January, it became obvious that we should pull him to the OSP. You get it? So it is a gradual process. So it is luckless coincidence that his government is no longer in power. If his government was still in power now, we would still have gone after him. We have a history of that.
So, Sarana, Mr. Kano, the issue, special prosecutor, I explained everything, how it all started and how it is going. But my culture said my interest has to do with how we proceed from here. Said we be see na enquire say a 9-day wonder be now we have the freedom, so we can just say whatever and then get it away with. This is the time state, that's a show seriousness. Now, a prove to the people of this country, say indeed, time for change, and one day, the change 101 not happen. The change 102 has to do with how we reform institutions, how you best send a signal out there to people, say, it is no longer business as usual. And we need to start doing this by strengthening state institutions, making them effective. One of the reasons why I'm for finding anything wrong with the Nema National Security Choir NSS Abra Abain Sasa 2017. Omo use the same national security way a year in class same bebre wo krom ha say. So amanfo bebre say omo ye nti yen so yenye omu bi. Sa wo kasa wo di sa ne na chi a, trust me, this country will never move forward. And that is why I'm with the conviction say we don't need to activate national security to go to people's home, beat people up, seize. No. We need to do this and do it in a manner that at the same time will engender trust and build public confidence in state institutions. I'm from who said this time is different from what happened in the past. And on some of us cannot support this whole marauding, roguish style of invading homes and stuff. The fact of the matter is that Ken Ofori Attah is involved in criminal activities. As state institution, to do investigation. We need to do whatever that we can to ensure that this process will go through smoothly and justice be as ye deliver to the people of this country. No, ye be deliver. Come catch us say the many crimes are caused with Kroma, the many foolish decisions that have been taken by people who are in power. And I'm so ama omayna boka omayno yedi ni prim, like the national service documents and the details that I shared with you. You betimi atena se ama kwabrane betimi conceive an idea of putting ghost names in the payroll. Atwaso 1 year, 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, 6th year, 7th year, 8th year, 8 good years continuous. People were building ghost enterprises, making huge sums of money. These are criminal syndicates. In the name of this dirty politics, got embedded into government. And Sanema Oyakosi are in several places. It's the reason why I made do for my heart for the aura. Say, it's an avenue for us to walk in details and also walk in graphics into some of these things. But very often evidence near my best substantiate some of these claims, are limited. So these are committees that will help us to furnish the state with all the requisite legal documents, all the requisite evidence. Our value bet me stand the test of prosecution in court. Ama who say, and yes, we are just talking keke, kasasa keke, because politics over the years, and that has always been the style. Just talk, nothing. This time around, you per se who something differently. A lesson people must learn hard in a very hard way. A bitter pill to swallow. I better send a message out there to people, say, it is no longer business as usual. And see, let me just finish with this particular presentation this time around. I think that those of us who are joining you later, and you can start from the beginning. You started from the SML GRA deal. One of the key scandals, AMA Special Prosecutor Chasey, the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori Attah, and also Aswan Hwakogu Mayo Clinic, US, one of the most expensive and the most sophisticated medical facilities in America. Nipa on the Tikroma say yam for mine sika nsi cathedral, omudo musika bomb mine sika mkosi cathedral no common to me nsi ono na nya kokodura kwata na America so je medical care. Ombra meyina no, he's not ready to come. Special prosecutor I press release a whole lot of statement about Bonting. We just want to see the subsequent step that will be taken to ensure say he comes and answer for whatever he's required to answer. And then the National Service Secretariat Scandal Akoso for 8 good years. How it happened, why Parliament did not activate the oversight responsibility to ascertain these numbers. While the National Service Secretariat were presenting other numbers to other institutions, taking money, stealing money from the state. And no one said until you join here, you can go back to the start of the video, watch, and I feel so you understand how this whole thing started. And how we got here and what has to be done next. Thank you very much for your time, and I think you can share the video for others to also follow.